I don't know why anyone would be angry at me for talking about God. I have no idea. On the surface, it looks like they're angry at me for talking about God and science and how God and science are kind of... God's a scientist, right? Who else would make all this? Anyway, they're getting really pissy with me, no doubt. I wouldn't know. I don't talk to anybody. I wonder why. Anyway, why would someone be angry at someone having an opinion based on patterns and facts and not emotions? Sounds familiar, maybe. I don't know. But I do know this. I'm a human being that has a brain, and I think differently, and people get angry at that. They do that with all neurodivergent people. They pathologize us. Okay. It doesn't change me. Your hatred and anger, which is just fear wrapped up in all these words you tell yourself, the stories you tell yourself, all that is that. That isn't me. That's you. You're your own accuser. Oh, I want to talk about this too. When Christ was in the wilderness and fought the adversary, he was fighting himself. The darkness within him that no doubt also turned into probably a picture in front of him, because he was probably a picture-based thinker. I'm just saying. It makes sense to me that way. And it doesn't make sense that he would fight with himself. Well, if you're so fucking special, jump off the cliff, angels will get you. And I'd be like, I don't want to. How many times have you told yourself, if you're so special, then go do it then? Probably none. But if you're having an argument with the darkness and the masculine and feminine duality within you that you haven't gotten to know or make friends with, then of course it would be your challenger. You're your own challenger. That's all Satan is. It's not a name like Grace or John or Bill or whatever. It's a title, a descriptor. It's not even a plate you put on your desk that says that's your fucking job. It's just a part of everyone. Everyone has the darkness and light within them, and only you decide. Everyone gets to choose what you do with what you're given. That's all it is. And it's not the tiniest of mistakes. And I am not here by accident. No one is. There's no accidents. There's none. There's patterns everywhere. I see life in pictures. I see life in pictures and patterns and music. And that's how I think. And so I sense things differently because I have to, or else my brain wouldn't help me. So I think of things physically. When I feel energy, the energy paints a picture in my head and tells me what's going on. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been. We're all made in the image of God. We're all part of God. All the parts of us are God, and together we can solve the puzzle. I'm only one little piece. Everybody's only one little piece. And all the ones before are still here. And that's the weird thing too. You think of death in one way, and really it's just your body not here anymore. But energy isn't created or destroyed. It just changes forms, and that's science. That's thermodynamics. And there are also things known as frequencies. You can't always see what's there. Where did you think heaven is? Where do you think hell is? Is it in outer space? Probably not. I don't know. But I know this, that there's things you can see and things you can't. Why does your hand not go through a coffee table if the majority of the atomic structure is empty? It's not empty. Everything is located within the nothing you can't see. It's just a frequency. And I don't hate anyone. Not even myself. I want to live so bad. I've never had a chance to live without abuse. And every single day I've had to live without it since the 21st of July, 2024. You can't take those days from me. Even if I was to leave now, I still lived free. And I want to have all the days. I want to have every day after this. I want all the days to be free. What's so wrong about that? Who would take offense to that? Who would want someone in a cage? Who would want to put a dove in a cage? I don't know, but I hear it's been done before. Strange days. Anyway, there's no avenging angel. Avenging angel is the asshole that shows up and says, "Hey there, don't touch me. Leave me alone, don't touch me. By the way, I'm really lonely. I love everybody, but get away from me." That's the avenging angel. What did you think they were? They show up with the big fucking sword? No, sword of truth is my tongue. And by the way, it fucking cuts both ways. You don't know how hard it is to speak to people when all you do is talk about the truth and you have no inner monologue to stop you from saying stuff. I don't even know what's in there until I speak. Sword of truth cuts like a knife. And it cuts me. Because I walk around with kindness and love. I'm serious. I don't have the capacity for hate. I can't hold on to emotional words because I don't have an inner monologue and I don't tell stories to myself. I just look at pictures and go, oh, that's what that fucking means. And then people get angry. And I don't know why, because I don't understand people. Don't you want the answer? Solve for X. No, they don't want answers. Everybody wants God to come home, and then I bet you God showed up in Jesus Christ, and they're like, yeah, no, we're going to hang him on a stick, and he's going to, afterwards, he'll die for our sins. He died because of them, not for them. And you hang the scapegoat at the front of the building and praise him for being a scapegoat. Just saying. What's a scapegoat? A scapegoat is when they hang all of their sins and everything else on a... It used to be an animal. They called them an animal. I'm going to call them people because they still do that today. And then they drive them out of existence. And all the blame goes on them. And everybody can be clean because all the lies went with them. They're the liar, not me. Really? And you have to kill them. And here's why. Because if you don't, everyone's going to know that you're the one that told all the lies. Because chances are good, they're just a picture thinker or a pattern seeker, and they just speak whatever's in them, and they don't even know what's coming out. And people don't like that when they've made up narratives that don't fit the lies you've told. Like, you have no idea how dangerous it is to live the life I live. And I'm in, like, Newfoundland. Like, the happiest, sweetest, most beautiful people on earth. But I'm going to say they're the most neurodivergent group in the entire country. However, neurodivergents and narcissists love each other a lot. Because narcissists get to hang out with a neurodivergent, and the neurodivergent doesn't understand people usually, and they don't get that the narcissist is pretending to be like them. All the good parts that don't hurt. And you're left with all the parts that hurt. And you're pointed at and laughed at and shit on. And called all the things that they say you are, when really it's just like, don't look at me. They're the fucking asshole. They're the liar. They're the cheat. They're the thief. And if you're busy trying to understand them, you're missing the guy behind the curtain. It turns out the Wizard of Oz was a little short guy dressed in a little green sparkly suit, and Dorothy went on him and went, that's the guy that's supposed to send me back to Kansas? Where am I, and why am I in this fucking basket? Honestly. That's what it is. It's been told so many different ways, so many different times, and so many different stories, and so many different books. The names have all changed. That's all it is. Comparative religion. They call it that and they study it and stuff. All I do is see patterns and pictures and describe that this happened here and here and here and here and here and here. And it's the basis for all of this shit. And then you kill each other over it and be like, no, I was right. No, I was right. Fuck him, he's right. Kill him. Because if he's right, I'm wrong. So I can't be wrong. Get rid of that one. You can't gain more life by taking another. It doesn't work that way. You can't absorb someone's soul. Their energy that was breathed into them before they even were thought of. How can you do that? We're all a masterpiece, a piece of the master. The master, the first breath. That's what started the waves. That's what grew everything. And it started off by some guy saying, no, if you eat from the tree of knowledge, you're going to be smart. Yeah. And it's weird because it started off with exploitation. But it ain't going to end that way. For some people it does. But I've made it a point in my life to not be exploited. I can sing. I could sing before I could speak. That's how I learned to talk, because words are rhythm in a song, so I can remember words by listening to songs. So, and that's how I think. And to want to have to live that way with the life I've had to live, you got to live the whole thing. If you're going to be a snake and you're going to cherry pick and go, that's mine, and that's mine. Okay, go ahead, take it all though. You can take all you want, but eat all you take. Eat it all. And you can't. You can't live my life, have my experiences, because the totality of a human being is not just their genetic material. It is how the world interacts with their energy that's given to them at birth. Oh, before birth. Because your mother absorbs the energy that's all around as well. Babies can hear in the womb. They absorb it all. You're born with it. You're born with the very first lie. It doesn't make you bad. It just means you're made in God's image. I'm pretty sure that's how God was born too. Anyway, get to that later. That's all I gotta say, and people are gonna hate me for what I said, but I get to speak. I was hit and beat and abused every time I did anything but made money for people. And the only reason people will be angry at me now is because they can't make money from me. Okay. Pretend you're me then. Good luck with that. I can't even figure out what I am. And all I'm doing is fucking living. Living my life. And it's very strange to finally live after 54 years. That's when it started. I thought I had cancer. And honestly, I was suffering so bad with abuse that I didn't even realize I was going through. Because the pattern never changed, so nothing really tweaked me into looking at what was happening around me. I've been abused my entirety of my existence in one form or another. So, and then all of a sudden, I thought I had cancer. Bladder cancer. And I dropped to my knees in my kitchen and I said, okay, I want to live now. I don't know a damn thing. And then all of a sudden, I think it happened to be like, I felt like touched. And I was in coherence with, like, my PTSD, the flashbacks that were continuous long fucking videos, right? My ex couldn't kick the file cabinet open anymore. Jesus Christ locked it up. He only lets me look when I need to look now. And then I started to see a pattern. Because he couldn't shake me anymore. I'm not ultra religious. I know God is real. I know how this works to the largest part anyway. God is a rhythm. It's a pattern. That's all it is. And it's everything. It's the everything in the nothing. And the nothing in the everything. That's what God is. Anyway, I'll talk more about it later. I'm freaking beat.